Hey guys, so today's video is going to be me defending myself. Some of you may be like, Vanessa, this isn't growth, this is you being petty. I'm not being petty. I'm literally going to defend myself because all the time I'm always told by my management or by people, don't say anything, you're giving them clout, or don't do it, no, like this time this is my heart. This is my heart, so you're not going to play with it, and you're not going to come online and make me look manipulative and make me look like some monster that I'm not, because I tried for too long in that relationship for that to happen. I tried for too long. So I'm gonna try to talk in the most mature and non-malicious way possible, but I'm going to spit some facts for you guys. I went through his entire video and I wrote down what I'm going to talk about because I just had an hour-and-a-half conversation with him and I told him all these things. And I recorded the entire conversation because I knew that it was going to go the way that it did. And if it gets to that point, I have no problem releasing it. I don't want it to get to that point. But just so you know, Jarl, I recorded that entire conversation. So if you want me to release it so people can see how you're actually talking to me and how you're denying things. But then also, he admitted to a lot of stuff in that. And he's like, okay, yes, this, or yeah, I could have said, or I shouldn't have said it. Like I will literally put that out there. And I'm not trying to threaten you like you think I'm always trying to threaten you. I'm not trying to threaten you. I'm just letting you know that I have it right there. And people will see how you talk to me. Because that was a problem. The way you talk to me. So I'm just going to spit these facts, or share my side, I guess, just because I'm not gonna let people constantly shit on my name. He told me on the phone that I tried to do it in the most respectful manner. I tried to, you know, make you look good in that video. And I said, no, I don't know what your intentions were, and I'm not gonna speak for you. But if those were your intentions, that's not what happened. I watched the entire video, and my entire family said, you know how bad he made you look in that? Watched it together. You know how bad he made you look? And that's not you, Vanessa. Because those were the people I was going to for advice on this whole relationship. And they're like, what the fuck? So I'm not doing this to attack him. I'm just doing this to say my side of it, because you're not gonna say all these things and then leave so much out to why some of these things even happened. Or you're gonna twist some things up to make it in your favor. Like, you're not gonna do that. Oh, we're talking about my heart here, bro. This shit's been hurt too much for now people to be, you know, only telling half of the story and then the rest of it not being told, when if the rest of it was told, people would understand. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this. Yes, I talked to him already on the phone about it. Yes, I told him there was being a video made, so he's aware that this is happening. And I'm just gonna talk about it because that's not fair to me. For someone who tried so hard to make this work. You're not gonna do that to me. So, the first thing I have to say is, and I already told him this, I don't hate you. I don't want bad blood with you, but it is what it is. And I respect everybody's opinion on things, but you guys, you cannot be delusional and you cannot speak on things you don't know. And that's a lesson I've learned very well, trust me. Recently, actually. If you don't know the full story, do not speak like you do. Do not attack people if you don't know the full story, okay? Because there's always three sides to everything. Their side, your side, and the truth. And that doesn't mean that both people are lying, but there's two sides to everything, or three sides to everything, you know? So let me just start, I guess. So the first thing he talked about that I want to talk about is communication. In his video, he said that there was maybe 2 days that we didn't communicate, or that he would ghost me. And then he also said, I'm sorry that I didn't, you know, communicate better, and that he should have communicated better. But what he failed to say, and what he lied about, he said that other than that, everything was fine and we talked pretty much every day. But he didn't tell you how we actually talked. So, this is him. This is me. Good morning. Hey, how are you? The next day, no response. This is me getting no response. Good morning. Hey, what'd you do yesterday? The next day. Want to FaceTime in 20 minutes? Yeah, sure. Hello? Where are you? You there? Next day. Want to FaceTime in an hour? Yeah, are we gonna actually FaceTime though? Because I really want to talk to you. I miss you. The next day. Hey, was super busy today. How was your day though? This is like maybe around like noon or something. Oh, you know, just got a video in, finished recording it, edited it, posted it on my channel. What did you do today? What made you so busy? Nothing. And that was a constant pattern for me and him. So him saying we talked every day, sure, maybe we talked almost every day, but that was it. That was it. And the only thing we really argued about was that, the miscommunication. Because when you're in a long distance relationship, you have to make an effort. And the amount of times that ladies and gentlemen, you should not have to beg for somebody's attention. If they're interested in you, they will show you that. And the times when I would tell him, if you're not interested, let me go. And he'd be like, no, don't say things like that. Why would you say anything? How dare you? You know how I feel about you. I can't believe you're saying this right now. And then I would feel crazy about it. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just over exaggerating. I'm sorry. And then things would get better. For like 2 days, we would FaceTime, then we would have full conversation, but then it would go right back to the same again. Good morning, how are you? Oh, I'm good, how are you? Not really doing anything today, what about you? Then nothing. That was a constant pattern. And one of the final times we argued about it, he told me this, and these are his exact words. I feel like I didn't have to try anymore because I kind of already have you. Why would you, what? Why would you even say that? You feel like you don't have to try anymore because you already have me? Is that how relationships work? I was like, are you kidding me, dude? How is that even a reason? Like, I genuinely don't see how that's a reason. So that means if you start dating somebody or if you get married, you have to stop putting effort into the relationship because, hey, you're already trapped? Those are his exact words. I would not make that up. Are you kidding me? So our communication was the biggest problem for us. I would argue with him about it, and then it would get better for like 2 or 3 days, and then it would get bad again. I'll admit, after our trip that we, you know, fell head over heels and all that stuff, we were FaceTiming every day. Everything was good. And then it got really dry after like 2 weeks. And then, you know, we started just like texting, and then like a week would pass and it would get drier, and then it would slowly just be like nothing, you know? So like, if you make me feel unwanted, which no one should ever feel that way, then why are you making me wait around for you, you know? And then online, you're like posting like photos like, I miss you so much, I can't wait to be in your arms again and have you in my, like, but you're not showing me that. That's not fair to me. The next problem. He said that he didn't say it, but I read the comments and everyone got this from it, even I got it from it. He said though that I threatened to leave him if he didn't visit me in America. So let me tell you guys what really happened. He failed to tell the whole story again. So when we were in France, he told me, I'm gonna book a ticket, because we were like actually talking like, oh, we should extend the trip so we could actually, you know, stay together a little bit more, because like we were having such a good time, like literally falling for each other. You guys saw it happening. And when I left him, I just felt so empty. I was like, oh my gosh, like I really feel like I met my soulmate. I'm sorry. And he told me, he's like, you know what? I have a lot of things to take care of back at home, but I'm gonna book a flight in 2 weeks, or let's book a flight to go somewhere else. And I was like, I'm so down for that. And it never happened. I kept asking and it never happened. And then as the weeks would go on, I'd be like, why don't you come to America? Or why don't I come to Norway? And it was always like, no, don't come here, don't come here, don't come here. And I'm like, why? Like, I can get a hotel, it's fine. Like, obviously I don't have to stay with you. He lives with his parents. And I know he doesn't have a car to, like, you know, drive us around and stuff, but like I have the money for Uber. I have the money to get a you know, rent a little place or whatever to stay at. And we can stay together and have fun, you know? But I was told no, don't come to Norway. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And he would keep telling me that I am booking my ticket this week. I'm booking my ticket this week. And it would never happen. So my hopes were constantly being given up. Like imagine like a kid always being told, you're gonna get this game, you're gonna get this game, you're gonna get this game. And then months pass, the kid's eventually gonna be like, fuck it. I don't fucking care anymore. Like, that happens. Like, you lose interest. So over time of him constantly telling me, I'm gonna get my ticket, I'm gonna get my ticket, or I'm gonna come. And I knew that he had to go through this whole like ESTA or whatever thing to like get his passport and have him able to come to America and stuff. But my thing is, in America, to go to another country, you either need to have proof of flight, and you can get your passport that day. It's very simple to get a passport in America if you're a citizen and you have proof of travel. And I looked up, you know, I researched everything about, you know, the Norwegian laws and everything, and I saw that he would be able to get one pretty fast too if he showed proof and he proved to them where he could go and he filled out this application and all this stuff. But he would tell me, oh, I'm gonna fill it out, and he would never do it. Now, some of you may be thinking, Vanessa, what if he didn't have the money? Well, he told me that he was thinking of buying this big ass house in Norway. He would always tell me how he wants to buy this Audi S6, is that what it's called? Or R8? No, R8 I think. He would keep telling me how he wants to like spend like $80,000 on this car. He wants to spend this on this car, and he's gonna buy it, he's gonna do it. So that made me think he had the money. And then seeing that he, and this isn't shade to him, but when we would talk, when we would actually have conversations, I would ask him what he was doing, and most of the time he was just waking up, eating something. He'd be like, I ate a little bit, went to the gym, and now I'm home. That was almost every day. If he's not filming or editing a video, that was like his everyday thing. Not doing anything, you know, a chill life. And I'm not saying I'm a super busy person, so I'm not shaming him, because sometimes that's just all I do. I wake up, I shit, I eat, and I move on with my day. I hang out with Zach, or I hang out with, you know, one of my friends, you know? So that's like, I live a pretty easy, carefree life, and he does as well. And he, like I said, he lives at home, so he doesn't have to pay rent, he doesn't have to pay like car insurance, he doesn't have to pay all these things. So like, where's his money going to? So I was like, oh, I thought like it wouldn't be that difficult. So that's why I was under the impression that it wouldn't be an issue. So like I said, over time, I just got sick of it. I was just like, bro, like, are you coming or not? Because I already had my family, which he failed to talk about, which I will talk about in a second. I had family coming in March. I had family coming in that were gonna stay with me, and they had their tickets already bought. And I let him know. I said, why don't you get your ticket towards like the end of when my family's coming, so you can meet them, and so, you know, we could have, you know, a couple more days together, because I was planning on going to Coachella, and he had to leave before Coachella, obviously. So he did. He left like right before Coachella. So that was the deal. Like, you could come after my family, but if you come maybe like a day or two, maybe 3 days before they leave, like, it should be fine. But like I said, it got pushed off so far that eventually he was like, okay, I'm getting my ticket, I'm getting it. And he just like bought it, and he showed up in like 2 weeks or something like that. So like, I was just so fed up, you guys. Like, the communication was already shit. And he was already like pretty much lying to me, like, oh, giving my hopes up. So I'm just kind of like, I don't fucking, like, I was just annoyed, and you know you would get annoyed too. Obviously I was kind of excited, but I was also nervous that he was coming. But like, I was just more like, oh, like, really? Like I was so excited, and now it's just kind of like constantly being told. Like, I honestly felt in my head that like he's saying he's coming, but watch him like not even show up. Like, I don't know, I just had that thought in my head. And after somebody constantly telling you something and then it not happening, you would believe that. You would think that too. And don't lie to yourself like, no, like, come on. So now moving on to the next one. If it wasn't for those 3 days, it would have been different. So he was saying basically in his video that I made him feel extremely unwelcomed and extremely uncomfortable. So I'm not going to discredit his feelings. What he felt is what he felt. But what I'm going to say is, I took us to water parks. I took us to amusement parks so everybody could have fun together. Dinner, going to dinner together. Getting these multiplayer video games that we could play with like the Kinect and like dance and like singing and stuff with our phones and like, you know, having fun together. Board games so we could play together. And he would always manage to disclude himself. And on the phone, he was like, you know I was uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, and I tried to include. He's like, yeah, but you knew I was uncomfortable. Like, what am I supposed to do about that? I can only try so hard, you know, to make you feel comfortable. Like, I can't control your emotions and what you want. Like, I tried my best. I took us to things that were for everybody to do together. You know, like I can't force you to do anything. When we were at Castles and Coasters, we did like, you know, we were going on rides together and stuff, but he would somehow drown himself to the background and just kind of like push himself away. And I know he has social anxiety, but like, and my family is literally me. Extra, crazy, the most. Flamboyant. So like, if you could deal with me, you can deal with them. Come on now. He would just like not talk, not say anything, just kind of stand there. And then when we went to Wet n Wild, like, so like at first it was fine. I was like, yeah, I'm so excited, let's go, like we're gonna, yes, like it's gonna be so much fun. And then after like maybe 1 or 2 rides, I was like, come on, let's go in the wave pool. And he was just literally just like, he's like, I'm just gonna go sit down. I'm like, come on, like let's have fun together. Like, let's have fun, come on. And he would disclude himself. And he would push himself away and go and sit down. And I got this with him saying it, and he was like, why do you think I did that? Because I was uncomfortable. I can't control your anxiety or your feelings, and you can't blame it on me. The only time that I can admit to me kind of making it, like, you know, making a situation, I guess, I was driving. I didn't have the aux cord. My cousin did. And he was playing some songs, and there, you know how there's just some songs that are just like a little shady in a way, like not on purpose, but like there's some songs that are played that come across as shady, and I would just look at him and be like, you know, just to like pick fun at him. Nothing like, fuck you, no, like nothing like that. He would be in the back seat. Like, I mean, he even said that on the camera. He's like, you had me in the back seat, then get in the front. We're all walking towards the car, like, get in. If you want to sit in the front, sit in the front seat. Like, that's not a reason to be uncomfortable or be upset with me because you didn't sit in the front. How old are we? But I will admit to that. The music was a little manipulative, just a little bit. Like, it was a little shady, I'll admit to that. And it was funny. Like, I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was that deep. And I would turn to look at him and he'd be like, Like, he wouldn't be like, he didn't look upset. Because if he looked really upset, I would have stopped. But he would be like, oh, like, but he didn't, you know, tell me that he was uncomfortable or upset. And for those 3 days, he never pulled me to the side. You're stronger than me and you're bigger than me. I'm not gonna take you down. Like, I'm not gonna like attack you or anything. Like, tell me that you're uncomfortable, but he didn't. We didn't have a conversation until I brought it up when my family left. He didn't even say anything. I guess he was just gonna hold it in. And maybe that's the kind of person that he is. He doesn't want to say things. He doesn't want confrontation. But like, he could say it online, but you can't say it to my face. That makes no sense. So, like I said, in those 3 days, I tried to include him and I apologized to him for him being uncomfortable, but I can't control your actions. We literally went to the wave pool. It's 110 degrees outside. Went to the wave pool and he was like, I'm not getting in. The water's too cold. I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna go sit over there by myself. And I was like, bro, so you can go and strip down to your underwear for a video and take a photo in a freezing lake in Norway. That's probably like -30. But you can't get in a wave pool that once you get in, you'll be used to it in 1 minute. Like, it was just like little excuses like that. And I tried to pull him. I was like, come on. And he was like, no. And I was like, okay. Like, my family's like, oh, what's his problem? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, let's just go have fun. Like, we're not gonna let this ruin our fun. This shit costs $40. I'm cheap. I'm not gonna or waste my money. So we just went, and he's over here sitting by himself. And then they finally opened up this ride that we were all like looking at, like, oh, I can't wait to go on that. And they finally open it, go to get on it. I'm like, come on. He's like, I'm just gonna sit over here. And I go up to him, I'm like, come on, let's go. And he's like, I'm not going on. Go ahead. So I go ahead. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and baby you and feel sorry for you when I try to include you. So that's what I have to say about that. If you decide to be in the background and not talk to anybody and, you know, isolate yourself, I can't control that. And like I forgot to say this about the other one with the, like, if we're breaking up if you don't come here. That's not being manipulative or threatening you. I'm just letting you know that I'm sick of this shit. Of you constantly telling me something and it not happening. Next. I was your #1 supporter. How dare you treat me the way you did? I was always there for you. I was always your #1 supporter. Always there for you. I always had to tiptoe around you though. I couldn't say how I felt. I couldn't. How could you tiptoe around someone you never talked to? That's what I didn't understand in that part. How do you tiptoe around someone you never talk to? When we have our full conversations, they were fine. Of course, we had our arguments about the communication, but how are you tiptoeing around me? First of all, we're not seeing each other in person. We're rarely FaceTiming. I could pull up the call logs. There's probably, in the past couple months, probably about 10 FaceTime calls, maybe less. Half of them being me arguing about him about the communication. So what are you tiptoeing about? What are you tiptoeing around? And then on the phone with him, he said, I was your #1 supporter. I made that video about you. You made a video about the truth about Simply Nessa about a month after you met me. You made a video about someone, I'm not saying like, oh, he made a video about someone he barely knew. I mean, he did, but like, you can't use that against me. You can't do an action and keep bringing it up. When everything else is bad and there's a problem, we need to address that problem. You can't keep bringing it up and using that as something, you know what I mean? Like, I was your #1 supporter. I have fans that did more. That, like, I have like a couple fans, you guys. I don't like to say the word fans, but like I have a couple supporters, you know, family here on YouTube that I talk to almost every single day, pretty much every day. Snapchat, FaceTiming, like talking to all the time. Like, and I'm not saying it has to be external things, and that's what he kept telling me on the phone call. He's like, you act like it has to be external things. He's like, he's even said in the video that I went out of my way for you. And he said it so many times on the phone call. I went out of my way for you. And I said, please explain to me how you went out of your way. And he would say, I would like think about you, and I'm like, you made it seem on your video that you were literally going out of your way, taking so much time out of your day. And he said, I did. My world only revolved around you. And I said, how? When did it revolve around me? When you were ignoring me? And like posting all over your stories and, you know, posting pictures and posting videos and, you know, going live and stuff and not talking to me? That's when your world revolved around me? And I don't want to say he's manipulative, you guys, but that's very manipulative. To say, I was there. I was always there for you. But then you weren't. So you're not going to sit there and act like you did. I told him this. I said, you're not going to sit there and act like you did so much for me when you were barely there. He said, yeah, but every time you told me about, like, you know, this deal or when you were doing this, like, I supported you. I said, oh, yeah, I'm rooting for you. Thank you, and I appreciate that. My friends do that too. So does my family. Thank you, I appreciate it so much. But don't sit back and act like you did so much for me. And you went out of your way so much for me when you couldn't even talk to me. And that's what I didn't understand when he said that part in the video. He's like, I'll never do that for someone again. And I would hope you never treat someone like that again. Because that's not right. I don't know if you guys know this, but he's never had a girlfriend before. I think he's talked about it before in videos, I think so. But he's never had a girlfriend before. Ever. Ever. And there's nothing wrong with never having a relationship at, you know, almost 22. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people just don't find someone. But when you want to act like everything you're saying is correct and you've never even been in a relationship, which doesn't mean that you're stupid. That doesn't mean you don't know what's right and wrong. You should know between right and wrong. But if you've never even been in one, and I've been in a couple, and I know what's like something that you need to really like pay attention, like, okay, this is a sign for this. This is gonna show me that this person's a sociopath. This is a sign that this person's probably a narcissist. This is a sign that this person is manipulative. This is a sign of this, sign of this. I'm not saying he's those things, but like, this is a sign of this, this is a sign of this. Like, every relationship I've been in, or even people that I've talked to, I've learned lessons, and I've learned what to look for in people and what not to look for, and what I like and what I don't like. So if you're going to sit there and act like you know everything, and basically like, yes, what I'm saying is right, but I don't agree with what you're saying. You're twisting words, you're coming up with this, you're coming up with this, but all I'm spitting is facts and what I'm feeling. And every time I would tell him the way I felt, he'd be like, yeah, but you know what I think and you know how I feel. And I'm like, okay, but like, can I tell you how I feel? He'd be like, you never let me talk. I'm like, I'm just like trying to tell you how I feel. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So like, I'm not saying that because he's never had a girlfriend, he doesn't know how to treat a relationship, but like, how are you gonna let your first, I guess, relationship go down like this? Like, he said he told me, he's like, I finally found someone that I believe is my dream girl and is going to be the person that I like, you know, I want to be with for a really long time. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, yes, that's so exciting. Like, I feel so honored. But then you treat me this way, like I ain't shit basically, because you already have me. I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. How you could make that entire 30-minute video making me look so bad when you didn't even tell the entire truth. Because like I said, if you would have told the whole truth, people would have viewed it in a completely different light. And look, now I'm saying the truth, and I don't want you guys to hate him, but like, give me a break. Like, it's not fair that I'm always sitting back and letting people say whatever they want, because I can't, and then I don't defend myself. And I feel like if I didn't say anything this time, people would have just been like, oh yeah, Vanessa's manipulative, like, she broke his heart, he loved her so much. After me saying all this stuff, does that sound like he really loved me, you guys? He told me he did. And then he also said in the video, he said that was so cruel of her, how she, you know, one day she told me, like, write down all your goals, we need to like fix this, like, I want to help you and stuff. And then the next day she called me and she's like, you know what, I just can't do this. Because you know what, that day I was having a real positive day, and I was like, you know, maybe I can make this work, even though I've been trying for months. Maybe I can somehow flip this around and make it work still after months of it not. And then I realized, I was just like, it's not going to work. It's going to crash. It's inevitable, like he said. It was inevitable for it to end. And he was right. And it did end. And yes, I did tell him those things, that I need a man, not a boy. I need someone with ambition, someone with goals. Someone who, you know, has a plan. YouTube is not a career unless you're like David Dobrik or something, or Shane Dawson. You always need to have a backup plan. You always have to have something else you want to do, and he doesn't have one. And he said it before. He said, YouTube is all I have. He left college for YouTube. You can't do that when you're like, just because you have like 100K subscribers doesn't mean you can drop out of college. Because I know how much YouTubers make. I know how much people make. I know how much I make. Me and my friends talk about it, how much they make. So I got a pretty good idea of how much people make on their channels. Social Blade is pretty accurate as well, you guys. They got their shit together. It's pretty accurate. So why would you leave working towards a career, you know, going to college, working towards a career for something that isn't even really making any money, something that isn't, you know, really doing too much. And that's, like, I hope that doesn't come across as, like, malicious or shady, but, like, that's the truth. Why would you leave something that you need to do just in case, you know, as a backup plan? I can always, you know, go back to school and finish it. I can always, you know, try new things. But if you only have one plan, and that's not, like, if your ambition is a big thing for me, like I said. If you really care about your channel, you're going to make a big ass effort on it. You're like, if you have, like, you know, a certain amount of, you're gonna be posting all the time. If you care about this channel so much, you're gonna post all the time and show constant, you know, brand new content, and, you know, doing what you gotta do. But if you're not even doing that, like, that's your only plan, and you're not even showing any sort of ambition towards said plan, I don't see growth. I don't see a future. I want to be fucking filthy rich when I'm older, so I can raise my kids on my own, not have to, you know, drop them off at daycares. I want to be able to actually raise my children, buy a home, not be in debt from it for 15 to 30 years of my life. I want to be able to travel. I grew up poor. Poor. I don't want my kids to do that, go through that. Going to school and feeling like they're not as good as the other kids because all the other kids can actually wear, you know, decent outfits, but I have to wear the same thing over and over and over, and kids are picking on me for it. I didn't want to feel like, oh, I'm the family that never got to go on vacation. My child never got to experience things, and they're in a high stress environment because mom and dad are constantly fighting about money. Mom and dad are always, like, you know, fighting and complaining. Like, money problems bring so much stress to a family, and it affects the child. So if I don't see you doing anything, I don't want to be the fucking, I don't mind being a breadwinner, but I don't want to be the only breadwinner, if that makes sense. I don't want to see you sitting around doing nothing all day when I'm over here doing the fucking most, even when I don't need to. You know what I mean? So ambition is a big thing for me, and like I said, if you don't have another goal or another plan, that's very unattractive to me. I don't like that. And he admitted to me as well today, he's like, yeah, YouTube's the only thing I plan on doing, and if it doesn't work, then I guess when it flops, I'll just come up with something. No, you need to have a plan right now. You can't think you're too good to go to school. You can't think you're too good to have an actual job. Like, you need to actually, you know, try. There's some YouTubers with like 100K, 200K, and they have real jobs that they're going to every day. 9 to 5s. And then they're building their channel on the side in hopes that maybe one day it'll go from hobby to career. But you can't be stubborn at all, or arrogant. You can't be those things, you know? I did call him a boy because to be a man means to be responsible, to be mature, to be on your own. Like, I mean, I don't think that a man lives off his parents. Like, that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Like, that's just my opinion. So yes, I did call him a boy, and I apologized to him after that conversation. And I said, I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but you needed that reality check. And he told me, he's like, yeah, I did need it. I did need that reality check. But I mean, he's still in the same boat, and he's not like changing anything about it, but I hope that he does. Like, I really genuinely hope that he does. Because I don't like seeing people that I care about or once cared about, you know, do bad in life. Or flop or fail. I want to see everybody win, you know? So, I was just trying to give him a reality check. Because I was like, I mean, a man is, you know, on his own taking care of his shit. A man, even if he is at his parents' house, he's still helping out. He's taking care of his shit and doing what he has to do to get the fuck out of there. I'm not going to talk too much about his family, but he has an example of what he should not become. And he's told me this so many times. I don't want to end up like this. I don't want to end up like this. But I'm like, then what are you doing to take the steps to not end up like that, you know? So like I said, I called him a boy. I said that, you know, I need someone with goals, more ambition, and I deserve to be choosy. And I do. And guess what, ladies? We do. And gentlemen, we do deserve to be choosy. If you don't want to be with the bum, you don't have to be with the bum. I'm not calling him one. But like, if you don't want to be with the bum, you don't have to be with the bum. If you don't want to be with somebody that sits at home all day and does nothing, you don't have to be with someone like that. If you feel like you're, you know, I mean, I think I'm pretty fucking awesome. I built my little own tiny little empire, I guess, on my own. I didn't have to go kiss people's asses for collabs. I didn't have to, you know, start a bunch of shit with, you know, famous people to get to where I'm at today. I didn't have to, you know, do all that. I built this shit on my own. And I know I'm a good person, believe it or not, if you're a hater. Like, I know I'm a good person and I have good intentions. And if I'm trying and trying and trying and I'm not getting that shit back, I have the right to walk away. I have the right to be choosy and be with someone that has their life together, knows what they want in this world and what they want in this life, and they're gonna go and get it. Even in relationships, if you know you want this, you're gonna work for it, which is exactly what I did in this relationship. I worked for it. I tried for it to work and it didn't. So like I said, I'm not gonna have him sit here with his dramatic black fade in effects and part 1, part 2, and try to sit there with monotone and, you know, choose his wording properly, say basically some bad stuff about me, but then be like, but I don't hate you, I still care about you. Then say something kind of negative about me, but then be like, but I still, you know, I still support. Like, you can't do that. That's manipulative. You can't say something bad but then back it up with something kind of good. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I was just not having it. I'm just like, I'm not gonna let another person make me look bad when I tried too fucking hard. Now I'm gonna get angry. So I'm gonna just stop the video now. I tried too fucking hard to be made out this way. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need anyone to feel sorry for me or try to be on my side and be against him. But like I said, you are not going to twist anything. You're going to tell the whole truth and tell people. If you're gonna tell people, even though he told me not to talk about it, don't say anything too much or I'm gonna make a whole video retaliating. Like, but then you do it and then you expect me to be quiet. Like, I'm not gonna it's not working that way this time. I don't want to be fucking this whole Trisha and Nash situation, or Jason. Like, Jason Nash, I didn't want this whole thing to, like, this kind of thing to happen, but this is what's happening. You said you didn't want this, but this is what's happening. Tell the truth. Tell the whole truth. If you would have said everything that I said today, we're fine. It would have been fine. I'd be like, okay, he told the whole truth. But he missed a lot of stuff that I just told you guys, that you guys would have actually been like, oh, now we see she wasn't over exaggerating. There shouldn't have been, I'm over here trying to have a good time at the pool with my friends and I start fucking crying. Cause I just feel so unwanted by you. I'm not gonna let you fucking make me feel like that. Like, you're not gonna make me feel like that. My cat's like literally like playing with my blinds in the background. I'm sorry, it's not a ghost. You're not gonna make me feel unwanted. And that's why I had to step away. So that's it for this video. I hope I got my point across. I'm sick of people making me look bad online. Even if it wasn't intentional, I'm sick of people making me look bad. Because literally, there's a fucking Nessa hate train. It's one thing after another. I start getting really good, and really good things start happening, and then it's something else. So all I'm gonna say is, hopefully, this is the end of it. Now you guys know. Now I said it all. I didn't want to, but now I said it all. My music will say the rest. Fucking camera keeps dying. But like I said, my music is gonna speak my truth, and thank you for everybody that has, you know, been an inspiration in my life, that has supported me, that has been there for me, because honestly, I love you guys so fucking much. Like, I love you guys so fucking much. Thank you for everything. And honestly, like, this is just another bump in the road and things are gonna get better again. I need to stay single. I have been going out, you know, going on little dates and stuff. But I'm not trying to, you know, jump into a relationship or anything. I'm just having fun. But I'm just gonna focus and work on myself, because I tried doing that. I didn't get into anything super serious for over a year because of what happened in my last relationship. And look what happened. Another whatever. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm glad I could share my side of the story. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Check out my last one. Bye.